Hello and welcome to Buzz Banter. I'm Das Hat.
And I'm Maya.
And today we come to you with a little bit of a tech and video game demo.
It's called Gravity Rush. The game has been out for quite some time already in Japan and Hong Kong actually. So I've gotten my hand on the English demo and I've had a chance to play it in Chinese. Though I can't read Chinese, so it's just me going wee. Anyway, here's the clip.
Alright, so the game, it obviously makes fairly good use of your motion control and everything on the Vita. Essentially, when you're floating out in mid-space sort of thing, you're kind of looking around for the little circles to set the gravity wells to. And it's most definitely a very sort of different and new take on a sort of platformer. It's less about measuring your jumps and everything, and more about just navigating through a three-dimensional space. Well, it's a very interesting game.
I like the fact that it uses the motion of the camera. You can actually like start. Actually, I'll do this in a moment. But what you can do is like when you move and tilt the Vita, the actual camera tilts with you, even in the cutscenes, which are actually done in comic style. So it's sequential art that they're using. The whole cutscene background moves along with the camera angle that you have adjusted your Vita to. So if you decide that you want to see closer in what's in the panel, right, you can. So such as like the cat that the main character is following around. Cat is, by the way, is the name of the main character, K-A-T.
Not actually a little sort of meow thingy.
There is one. If it's in the panel, you can actually like tilt the panel so you can see the cats in the background are doing. It's a lovely mechanic. Like I actually enjoy this. They've also done something with the voicing. Is that they've invented their own language in the game. So you actually get subs in whatever language you want to play the game in, right? But the made-up language that they've decided to use kind of sounds like French, but no, it's not quite.
The actual storyline to the game is fairly interesting and entertaining. Essentially, this girl wakes up to find whole swaths of her town are missing, kind of swallowed up by these miniature black holes. And she finds out that she can control gravity. So she basically navigates through the world to get to these sort of ethereal encounters where she fights and beats up a black hole. I know all of you physics majors are just kind of like pulling your hair out right now.
Yeah.
Just accept that it's a video game.
But don't worry. Though every person in on the town, when the gravity starts shifting in the game, everybody that's standing in like normal gravity will suddenly start floating in the air with your protagonist. The difference between you and the townspeople is your protagonist can change the gravity that they're working within. So they can suddenly increase their weight by like, I don't know, Dragon Ball style, and they can crush opponents to death.
On top of that, essentially, basically, as you defeat these black holes, you bring sections of the town back and everything, and the whole thing's basically you just trying to rebuild your hometown.
There is a antagonist, mind you, that's trying to stop you at every turn, because they have a different goal, that they require the town to be swallowed up in order for them to achieve something. I'm not sure what that might be, because I haven't gotten that far. The demo actually stops off right when you meet this possible antagonist. It's lovely though, mind you. The townscape is quite steampunk.
Yeah, the character models are all very crisp, and really making good use of the Vita's hardware. It's displaying it. Hey, it displays very well, no frame rate issues. But then again, this is just the demo that we're toying around with. And the actual, why in God's name does that cat have ember eyes? staring into my soul.
The cat is meant to be like some personification of the universe, is what some of the game people have assumed, because its body is covered in stars.
The Reddit community is going to go nuts with this. It's like, this cat is the universe.
Your cat is the universe. There's also a raven in the game that you see flying by, and it also has a weird star body.
No, really, it's like piercing my soul. The game itself is loads of fun. It's a very sort of different take, as I said before, on your standard platformer. And it's interesting to see just like the average Joes navigating through this sort of messed up gravity world, because while
you're gonna be doing this.
Yeah, while you have sections of the world that are missing, in other areas gravity is just distorted, so people will be walking along the street and then they'll shift over and start walking on the wall because gravity shifts from here to here. And they shift along with you. When you shift the gravity, essentially you have...
Unless you're in a boss battle, then like suddenly, mysteriously, the whole town, all the townspeople have run away because they're like, what is this?
Well, no, they know that when the boss battle's coming, it's all the dramatic music that starts playing. They're just like, oh, no.
The bosses themselves...
I'm not insured for this.
The bosses themselves look like they have multiple like black swirling holes that you can smash to kill. At least that's the ones that you were offered in the demo. I think it's quite lovely that like your characters and like it does look like some sort of like British colony type world, but like everybody else is wearing like quite Victorian clothing. So like for character design, yeah, the people in it look lovely. They also all speak the weird language that you I don't know.
But here's the major issue. This is a handheld game. It is a portable game, somewhat of a casual game. But because of the mechanic and everything of looking around when you're floating out in like the middle of space and everything, let's say this gets really popular and 1 in 7 people have this game, you're going to be walking down the street and seeing people that are literally just stopping where they're going and going.
But that's only if you forget that your right analog stick actually controls for the camera as well. So if you get lazy and you just want, instead of doing this to hit the boss, you can actually move the camera so that you're facing the boss and smacking.
But then you're losing out on a little bit of the gameplay mechanic and everything, and you're not getting the full use out of it. But it's probably the more practical solution. That being said, even doing that, the general gameplay mechanics of distorting gravity, moving through the world like that, they are very entertaining.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was like some medical issue with this, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot of people are complaining that they're getting headaches and whatnot because of how much motion sickness they're receiving from the game. Because you can free fall from like the top of a skyscraper and just stop midway, and then start floating the other way and just attacking at whatever is there. But the thing is that people don't like reading guidelines. The game itself has a warning. You should be only playing it maybe half an hour at max, and then taking a break for 15 minutes, then playing again. Otherwise, yeah, you will get some instances of motion sickness. Even like veteran gamers that I know that usually do not get motion sickness, that have played this in Hong Kong, they're suffering motion sickness from this.
Yeah.
They're like, it's just, the controls are very well done. So you can stop midair and just float in whatever direction you want. The problem is that cognitive disjunct that you're living in a world that only has one gravity, right?
There is no like sort of solid up and down in this game.
Yeah.
So you have no sort of central compass to keep you grounded.
The only time you can set it to normal gravity is when you click L, but then like during a boss fight, that's not what you should be doing. So that's why people get very, very ill after boss fights.
Yeah. So that's Gravity Rush. Check out the game, the full game when it becomes available. And if you can read Chinese...
It's available in Hong Kong right now.
Yeah, pick it up. It's a really fun game. It's a simple mechanic, and it's really well executed. But I guess that's it for us then.
I heard, yeah, thank you. Bye guys.
In the beginning of the movie, like, as soon as he goes back, they're like, oh, you know, that's not a fun time for you people, you know, exactly that joke. But, you know, but then it falls apart because at the end you have Will Smith, spoiler if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry.